There was one thing we hadn't fully considered about sailing in the Cape Verde Islands. Even though the distances between the islands are short, you're still out in the middle of the ocean, hundreds of miles from the mainland. And that's what makes island hopping here feel very different. In this episode, we leave Sal behind and sail to Sao Nicolola, where we discover just how different each island really is. And we're saying goodbye to Ilha do Sal here in Cabo Verde. We've been here, I don't know, 3 weeks? A while. And now it's time to explore the next island, which is going to be Sao Nicolola. It was a tight anchor field here in Palmera, so it was a bit nerve-wracking to pick up anchor with like 15 to 18 knots of wind, like moorings and sailboats all around. We managed to get out without hitting anyone. Now it's 65 nautical miles of pretty open ocean in front of us. It's kind of crazy when you're sailing in Cabo Verde because you're like basically in the middle of the Atlantic. So when you're in between the islands, it's quite open ocean. It's island hopping, but out far. So if anything happens, it's kind of drastic. Even here when we're anchored, when we're coming back with the stand-up paddles to the boat, it was like if you miss the boat, you're paddling across the Atlantic. The weather forecast is saying that winds are gonna be below 20, between 15 and 20 most likely. Now we're having like 15 pretty much from the back. And it's around 5 o'clock. There's a fishing net or something over there to our right. Flo? Dodging fisher nets and small boats is something you quickly get used to when sailing in Cabo Verde. With 65 miles ahead of us, we knew we wouldn't make the passage in daylight. So we left in the evening, planning to sail through the night and arrive just after sunrise. That way, we still had enough daylight to put some distance between us and the island we were leaving and settle into the rhythm of the passage before darkness set in. The sail turned out to be another rough one. Around 20 knots of wind, but really gusty, and a very confused sea that kept throwing the boat from side to side. Flo wasn't feeling well, so I took over the night shifts to let him rest. And then the autopilot stopped working, and the wind pilot tried its best, but struggled with the gusty winds and chaotic seas. So instead of resting, I spent most of the night watching it closely and constantly adjusting. It made for a long, demanding night. So when the sun finally came up and Sao Nicolola appeared on the horizon, just off our starboard side, I was very ready for it. We are on a mission to explore this beautiful island, Sao Nicolola. We're in an anchorage that I don't know what it's called. Gomez? Gomao? Do you know what the anchorage is called?
Gomez.
No, it's not called Gomez, but it's something with, yeah, well, I'll look it up. And we're gonna do a little hike through the area, and hopefully we're gonna find a local restaurant that people have been writing about on Navili. Someone can't wait to go. Huh? Yeah. Coconut. Yesterday I went to the beach with the dogs and there was a coconut, and I think Boga remembered that we used to play a lot with coconuts in Central America. So she really wants to go back to that beach. Righty-ho, let's go. Doggo-mobile. Since we've lost our dinghy in Sal, in Palmera, we're back to paddleboarding, meaning Flo's taking the dogs on the bigger paddleboard and I go on the small one that we lovingly call Tipsy because it's super tippy. We have to go to the neighboring bay, which is around the corner, and there's some rachas, like some winds that come down the mountain, so it's gonna be interesting. Karisal is one of those places that instantly makes you shift down a couple of gears. A small fishing village tucked just above the narrow bay where we landed with the paddleboards. Life here moves slowly. You see people sitting and chatting, wandering through the streets, but no one seems to be in a hurry to get anywhere. It's not quiet. There's barking, there's chickens everywhere, and the occasional goat passing through. But somehow, none of it feels rushed. And being here makes me notice how much stress I often create for myself, filling up my days, giving things a sense of urgency that, in the end, could probably wait. Places like this have a way of slowing you down, of bringing you back into the present, without even intending to. Apparently, this restaurant here on this island is really good. And there is a sign saying, yes, it's open, but there's obviously no one there. So in case no one is there, it says to look around for Anna, ask around for Anna in the village, take a seat, and then she'll be there in a minute. I've asked about probably 10 people by now in a mix of Spanish and Portuguese. Well, Portuguese as good as I can with my Duolingo status. And I'm just getting shoulder shrugs and pointing into different directions, often pointing towards the house, which we have found by now, but Anna is nowhere to see. So not sure how we're going to manage to get some food from this lovely Anna that we read a lot about. Supposedly really good food. Well, I'm going to give it 2 more tries and then probably give up on this. Fingers crossed. Okay, it turns out we found Anna. Luckily there was a photo on the little sign at the restaurant. And there was a guy, actually when I went to the house and I knocked, there was a guy setting off with his little motorcycle, which we didn't know had anything to do with it because nobody told us. And then I asked some other people and he was just coming back from the beach. And somehow we managed to communicate that Anna was at the beach and was coming. And then we were on our way to the beach and she came up here. We met her and figured out that there was different dishes. And we ordered a pulpo carpaccio. And we ordered some fish and some chili. So that's gonna be exciting. Apparently it's really, really nice food. So I'm looking forward to it. Now we're gonna go on a little hike into this valley, going through the valley and then up on the ridge. I have no idea how long that's gonna take. We've got 3 hours because we said we're gonna eat at 3. So hopefully that's all gonna work out. When we arrived in Karisal, we could already tell from a distance that this island felt very different from Sal. Sal is dry, almost desert-like, endless shades of brown and barely any green. Sao Nicolola, on the other hand, is rugged too, shaped by its volcanic landscape, but much more alive. As we made our way into the canyon, the scenery kept shifting. There's a water distribution system running through the valley, making it possible to grow crops despite the irregular rainfall. Banana trees, manioc, sugarcane, patches of green woven into the raw volcanic terrain. quite a while we've been walking in the riverbed down in the canyon. And now we're finding our way up. A steep little climb. And we're going, I assume, up on the edge, the topper edge of the canyon. And the views are just spectacular. It's really pretty. And the path is definitely on the edge. Apparently at some point we're going to change on the other side of the canyon, and then we're going to walk back on the ridge, same way that we came, but way higher up. And apparently at the end of that, we're going to have a beautiful view down into the bay where the boat is anchored. Yay. We hadn't been on a proper hike in a while, so this felt like a real treat. And I think the dogs loved it even more than we did. The trail eventually led us to a viewpoint overlooking the neighboring bay, with Santana gently swinging at anchor below us. But it wasn't time to head back just yet. Remember that dinner date with Anna? Well, she welcomed us with fresh caipirinhas, limes picked straight from the tree, and we treated ourselves to a beautiful meal. A bit above our usual budget, but absolutely worth it. Fresh tuna, simply prepared, and incredibly good. Now, all that was left was getting back to the boat, and hopefully without getting blown off to sea. Because tomorrow we want to set sail for Tarrafal. But more about that next time.